Let's talk about classic cars.
Okay,
That's a great segue.
Yeah. So yeah, this came up last week.
Last week, yes.
Yeah, somebody wanted us to quote their classic.
I was visiting a
vehicle.
business. I walked in, amazing shop this guy has. He has the tons of classic cars just sitting there. Everything from General Lee to like Model Ts, Mustangs, all sorts of fun stuff. And so they were out looking for insurance, and they asked me while I was there at the shop. I was like, absolutely, we can do classic cars. And they're like, we got this quote, and they threw out a number, let's say for 6 classic cars for over $5,000.
Oh.
And my jaw hit the ground.
Yeah.
Because Sonia, what's the usual cost of a classic car in policy?
Oh, well, I know it's a lot less than that.
Yeah, it's
a
like
lot less than that.
Anywhere, like most of the time, it's like $100, maybe
Oh, wow.
$200. It is extremely cheap.
Okay.
But there's some things that you need to restrictions for you to get that kind of policy.
Absolutely.
Sure, right.
When it comes to cost, you have to take away things to bring the cost down. And in some of the pitfalls with classic cars are daily driving limits.
Mm-hmm.
Driving it for pleasure. Or what's the other one?
The most famous one is loaning it to some kid to drive to prom. That happens a lot.
Yes,
Especially-
we have seen that.
And we usually get the call about 3 o'clock on Friday.
All right.
If I let this person drive my car that we have on a classic car policy, would it be covered?
Hey, you got to commend them for even thinking that.
Well,
though.
let's say
That is.
True. That's true. I guess that's better than the.
Yeah.
I let somebody do this and they had to write
right.
their coverage.
Hey, I'm covered, right?
Yeah.
This happened last night. I'm covered though, right?
But then that's when we started going down the list. Were you in a parade?
Right, yeah.
Was this a classic car show?
Right.
Were you the driver?
So yeah, if you're going to drive that car for regular use, or even pleasure use on a Sunday afternoon, every Sunday you're going to take, that's not a classic car policy.
Right.
You can get insurance, of course, for that, but it's not going to fall under that where it's very inexpensive.
That's correct.
coverage.
There's about 10 to 15 carriers out there that specialize in this type of field, and the cheaper the rate, the more restrictions you have. You can get classic policies that have, daily pleasure driving limits on there. Let's say you can drive your classic car for 10 miles a day, you limit it. There's other options around there, but the primary purpose of this is to bring down the cost.
Yeah.
Because this is not a car that you're going to be driving to work. You don't need to be putting on your Allstate, your Travelers, your Safeco policy. These are ones that need to be stuck over here that reduces the cost.
You need to be covered, but you don't need to be spending a fortune on it.
Right.
Right. If it's going to stay locked in a garage, covered, and only brought out for the car show or for, then you don't need to pay the regular premium that you would have on your car that you drive to work all the time.
Right.
So,
And one of the major pitfalls of a classic policy, I've come to find out, was if you drive it, let's say you're driving from your house to a car show. Okay, that's acceptable. If some of those really, really restrictive ones say that if you deviate from that path, let's say if you stop at the grocery store on the way home or on the way there, no coverage.
Wow.
Yeah, but that's one of those things that you have to really look at your policy, know what you're buying, and understand it before you have an incident.
So you don't remember this, but you do the Cadillac.
Oh yes.
Okay, so Rick bought this old Cadillac that he was going to fix up and sell.
Nice.
And
Was that the one with the baby blue interior?
yes.
Okay, I
Oh,
remember.
yeah.
And the way he was fixing it up, I won't go into all that, but there were skull head, it was just like, you're not going to sell this. And I put it on our regular policy because just occasionally, because Matt was in high school, and it was before my mom got him his pickup, and he was driving an old pickup, and sometimes it wouldn't run, so he would take the Cadillac to school.
Nice.
Because,
Yeah.
so my agent at the office, was trying to tell me, let's just put that on a classic car policy, and I was like, I would, but every once in a while, something is different. So,
And the one time
Yeah.
something happens is the one time you're gonna get.
but it was
a
not. It
16-year-old
wasn't.
boy driving the classic car.
Yeah.
So that wasn't the top of like what Brad saw last week. This was not that kind of
Oh no,
classic car.
those are
It would have
amazing.
qualified. It was old enough, and we really weren't driving it. But then, when you do, you don't want them.
Right.
So,
When I picked up my Miata in Michigan, it
Yeah.
came with classic car plates.
yeah. Oh
The
goodness.
Miata. It's awesome. Well, okay, so if folks are out there, they have, maybe they've got a classic car that's sitting in the shop, they don't really know the best, or maybe they've been spending,
Well, think about it. It's fall time. It's fall. Great weather's coming up.
Yeah.
They're gonna start busting out those convertibles, those nice classic cars.
if you're
They're gonna
going cruising,
absolutely.
you need to reevaluate your coverage.
Yeah.
And y'all are the experts, y'all can walk them through and say, pick the policy that works for them as frequent uses they're gonna be doing. Whether that's just cruising the lakes or going in, on the hills around here, or they're just parking that in a shop and bringing it out once or twice a year.
Yeah. So if you're not sure if it qualifies or not, just call us. We can we can explain it to you and get you a quote.
And if you have something already and you don't understand it,
Yeah.
call your agent or give us a call and let us compare what we can do for you and what you currently have.
Okay.
So before we give our contact information,
Yep.
I want to give a shout out to Lee McElroy.
Okay.
She has been with Brand Insurance since 2001, so a
Oh,
really
wow.
long time. And today's her birthday.
Happy birthday,
And
Lee.
She lives in Lubbock, but a lot of our listeners,
Rackham?
a lot of our listeners, she handles their insurance. So if you're listening, and Lee is your account manager, give her a call and tell her happy birthday, and don't tell her how you heard, and then she'll
Okay.
just wonder how that happened.
Perfect.
So
Sounds good. Awesome. Well, how do folks get a hold of you?
Well, they can come see us at the second floor of Ciera Bank Building here in Graham or call us at 940-549-2525.
Or you can see us in our Hudson Oaks office, which is 2950 Fort Worth Highway Suite 500, 817-770-0096.
Or come see us online. That's the really easy part, BrianINS.com.
Brian with a Y.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, now don't shop us if you're in our office on our website.
Yeah, there you go. Awesome. All right. Well, thank y'all so much for being here. Y'all have a great rest of your Wednesday.
Thank you.